Okay, it is Monday. We are live. And it is an art day. We are back working on our Seahorse friend here. And I kept going back and forth as to what I was going to do after we finish up the seaweed, whether that was going to be the gold accents or the background. And I think I am going to do the background first before I start doing the gold accents, because I'm also going to be using the gold to outline. Everything, so I'd rather be able to outline as we are painting the spokes all at once. If I end up doing it with the paint, hadn't made up my mind just yet as to whether or not that was going to be done in pen or paint. I have that gel pen that's a pretty close match. To the gold paint that we're going to be using. I definitely need to get some more spray sealer though. I have a few things that I need to seal. And I think I'm almost out of sealer. I've got a couple of cans up there, but I think most of them are just about empty. But I was holding on to a few projects that needed to be sealed so that I could just seal them all at once. Now, I will let you know right now that tomorrow's stream is not certain. It kind of depends on what the weather is doing. And why is that? It's not because, you know, I think the power might be out or anything. Zuzu, for anybody that's new around here, our older pupper, has... What the hell was that? Sound like a car door slamming. Watch the animals.
No, don't see anything.
Maybe it was the neighbor. It was very loud though. Suzu has developed quite the storm anxiety and likes to try to shove himself everywhere he should not be. That is not a good idea for him to be, like, under my desk, in the wires, trying to climb everything he shouldn't be, and just getting into all sorts of trouble. So we kind of have to sit on him on the bed. We might see how much those thunder shirts are. I don't know if it's going to do anything for him. Some people say it really helps their animals. I don't know how he would react to it. But at this point, it's so bad that he's like getting upset with just rain, and I'm like, buddy, what is the matter? It's just rain. You never used to do this before. Hey, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean.
Sorry, Ed.
Cal saw what was going down and he's like, I'm getting out of here. Mr. Bean was laying on top of Ed and munching on him. And Ed was not happy because Ed was napping. But yeah, so if it's storming tomorrow, or looks like it's about to storm, and I can't get any of the stream in, then we're just gonna cancel it so that I can go sit on the dog and bear hug him on the bed. Because last night we were supposed to play Fallout with our friends, and it had decided to start being grumbly outside when I was making dinner. And even cars going by were starting to upset him, even though it had long since stopped at that point. So I had to sit out for most of it while I was trying to calm him down, which involved me laying on the bed, not being able to get anything else done. With both hands on him, petting him, trying to keep him from climbing onto an end table that is not super sturdy. That he seems to insist upon climbing on constantly when he gets upset. And the cats are gonna cat now. I promise they're playing. I know it sounds like it. They're not. They are. Cow is a drama queen. Because he keeps coming back for more every time we break them up. He's right back there, tormenting and antagonizing the kitten. Swishing his tail in his face, sitting there, daring him to come at him. But any other time, Cow goes to eat, the kitten's right there, eating with him. They're like joined at the hip for the most part. And I think Cow's trying to teach him about boundaries and how to cat. And we keep trying to distract Mr. Bean with toys when he starts getting a little too feisty with Cow. Where is he?
Right off that way.
Cow was in here without him, I guess. Because I just threw a toy and Cow went for it. I have a whole load of kitty springs right next to me. And we do give Cow breaks. We'll scoop the kitten up in a little bit. let him go eat his lunch and have some of his actual kitten food. Hey, guys, come on. Here, you want a ball? Where's the kitten? The kitten's ball. It's probably going to be lost under a desk here in a minute. That's the last ball I've got. You've hidden the other ones well. I'm trying to go around at night before I go to bed and recollect the multitude of plastic springs and whatnot that I have thrown throughout the day for him to attempt to be distracted with. But that is the last ball that I've been able to find in this house. There's a couple more floating around. I know that there's at least 3 more that I had 2 days ago that have since disappeared.
No.
What happened?
He was attacking it again. It doesn't play along.
Yeah, no, Ed ain't got time for that shit. But funny enough, Ed and Cow are almost the same age. I think they're like a month or 2 apart from each other. 2 months at the... 3 at the most, but... Ed acts so much older. It's kind of astonishing. Just doing a second coat on our lightest green. Here, so I picked up a few color shifts. Those guys aren't cheap, are they? The one I got at Walmart was 2 something, so I don't know if they were discontinuing it or that's just what Walmart was selling it at. Or I saw the price wrong. The ones at Hobby Lobby, which loathed me to get, were almost supposed to be almost $5, but I don't think she charged me the right price. Alright, so let's just clean that guy. Oh, I was worried I was gonna do that. Woohoo! Spilled the paint water. Good job. It's alright though, because I spilled it, ironically enough, on my paper towel that I had sitting there to wipe my brushes off on. So that means I'm gonna have to substitute a tissue until I get up to get more paper towel. That's sad, that paper towel wasn't ready to have the towel thrown in on it yet. Need a lot more life in that paper towel. Alright. Well, I mean, at least it was only water. And it wasn't near anything super important. But I was originally not going to do the seaweed and the gold accent, or in the color shift, and then I saw the color shift and I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. And I started out with just the dragonfly shade, which is the darker one here. And I was gonna do 2 non color shifts with it, and it just didn't look right. The more I was fussing about with the possibility. So I kind of nixed that idea, and I was like, no. And then I saw two color shift shades that Walmart didn't have that looked like they would go with the dragonfly shade that I picked up. And I was like, you know what? I think this is what we need. Because it needed a little something. And I know I don't have any actual flare in the large colored sections on the Seahorse. I know that. But all of these guys, the ribbing and everything and the circles, that's all going to be done in my gold paint there. So I think that will be fine. Because this stuff's expensive. It's like $5-ish a bottle, which is astounding. And I mean, if you're buying actual, like, tubes of acrylic paint from, like, over in the fine art section, it's not that far off of that. But when you're buying dollar-ish bottles of craft paint, it's painful. It's like, oh, are we sure about this? I don't know what other projects I might use it for yet. I had only really grabbed it for this, although we are getting a Michaels closer than Fort Smith, so I am excited about that, though Michaels can be expensive. They can be. I'm not going to pretend they're not, but if you hit a sale right, like their canvas sales are usually pretty nice. Forgot I didn't have to do 3 on this shade, so I put way more out than I needed. So it is a Monday. Hope everybody's Monday is starting out okay. Because Mondays can be rough. I don't know why. Even if your week doesn't start on actual Monday, but like your personal Monday of the week always seems to be the roughest. Probably because you had 2 days away from the nonsense and just aren't in the mental space to deal with the nonsense, maybe. After having 2 days of not having to deal with it. In theory, or at least that specific nonsense. I'm sure there was other nonsense that people have to deal with. Outside of that. Alright, so this was green flash color shift. This was emerald color shift. Is it emerald something? Emerald flash, excuse me. Green flash, emerald flash. And then this last one here is gonna be a dragon flash. So that's the dark one that we've already put in here. You okay?
Yep. It's helping Ed.
Alright. So I have found that these color shifts are kind of thin and kind of transparent. So they do need at least 2 coats on them to look their best, and it might actually be more than 2 coats if you don't have another shade under it. But I found that I really needed that second shade underneath just to kind of help it along a bit there. It definitely made all the difference. I know we spent a lot of time messing with the seaweed here, or seagrass. And I sort of apologize for that, but at the same time, sometimes things just need to be played with to get them to where it's like, yes, I'm happy with this now. You don't quite have the idea totally fleshed out, or you sort of have it fleshed out, but you're just having trouble bringing it to paper or canvas, if you will. And you can see a little bit of the brush strokes from the undercolor. A bit. And I'm okay with that to a degree. Like it's okay. Like in here, I have a little bit of that shining through, but you know what? It kind of just adds a little bit to the unevenness of seaweed and stuff. Hang on, I need to grab another cat toy here. Okay. Weren't you supposed to get her trash?
Yeah.
Wow, the trash is just coming?
Yes.
They're late today. Half the time they've come and gone before 8 o'clock. Okay. So let me stick that. Where am I going to put this where it's not going to be trouble if it spills? It's over there. Okay. Now. I need my paint plate, which I thought was... You know what? We're going to use the small one. I've got another one of these little cookie trays here that we're going to use for this because I'm trying to use up my old paint, right? I have a tube of actual artist paint. Oh. Let's not do that over things. There should be plenty in here. It's been laying flat, so it's being a little less than cooperative at the moment. Let's see. I had to move my brushes back to their original holder because Bean wouldn't stop chewing on them. I need like a small brush, but not like overly small. I need a small guy for certain parts of it. Okay. So this is Liquitex Basics. What is this? Mars Black. So it's going to be a little bit thicker than I've been using lately. And that means it's also gonna dry a little bit slower. In theory, although you know what? This brush feels a little fuzzy. Like, not like hair on it fuzzy, but it's being a little too frizzy. Maybe frizzy is the right word here. So I think I am gonna go with a slightly smaller guy here. No, not a smaller guy. No. That's a smaller guy. If I can find it. I just had it. I was looking at it and I was like, no, that one might be a little streaky. But all things considered, that one's a little frayed. Literally just had you in my sight. Where did you go? Seriously? There you are. Okay. I didn't want to add any water to this if I could help it, but we'll see. Oof. Yeah, I much more enjoy the consistency of the craft paint, because this just feels so thick. That it's almost disturbing. Especially when I have to go back and keep getting more. For what feels like way too soon. And at the very least, I need to use this smaller brush to kind of cut in here. If nothing else. I'm gonna come back and get the edges at some point. Because those are gonna be tricky to get on stream. They always are, especially with the size of this canvas. I'm not really gonna be able to tilt this guy very well to be able to pick that up. So I am cutting in a little bit into the edge of the seagrass here. And hopefully I won't need to do a second pass on the black. Hopefully I can get all these crevices filled in. I mean, it's nice to see that this black is still usable, because it's been a hot minute since we've opened this tube. Now I will say that because this is Liquitex, it is probably going to dry a little shiny instead of matte. But Final seal should be okay. Now, the only thing I don't know is if we're gonna dull the color shift when we go to seal that. That is going to be sort of an experiment, I think. Now, I will say with this paint, this brush is doing a fairly good job with its coverage. So maybe this brush, these red-handled guys, were more meant for this paint consistency instead of the thinner crafty paint guys. And like, I generally don't have too much against like the actual artist tubes of paint. It's just the consistency of the paint I like a little bit better coming out of the craft tubes. Hi, Mr. Bean. No, 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 no. No, you can't step on this right now. I know. You're used to doing so. Here. I have a spring. Okay. Now, I have not added any water into this yet. I'm hoping that we can get by without doing so. It is awfully thick, and part of me like really wants to, but we're gonna try not to. Okay. So far, so good. Do apologize if my head dips into the screen here. I'm gonna try my hardest not to, but it's sort of inevitable when you have an overhead camera. It's gonna happen eventually. But so far, we are doing pretty good. It's going to take a little bit of time. For sure. To get all of this cut in. Sorry, I'm looking at a bristle that is sticking out. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I had tried to trim that. Mr. Bean, that's my pant. Oh, ow! Hi. Sir. You are a menace. Come here. No, let go of the desk. No, let go. You can't hold on. Go ahead. No stalking. Not from up here. Usually, we're using the craft paint, so it doesn't matter so much because the craft paint dries fairly quickly. I want to say my biggest challenge at the moment is my lighting. And the fact that this paint is a little shiny. Because I'm having trouble making sure that I'm filling in all of the canvas crevices. And that what I'm looking at is just like not a shine. Like, is this just shiny or is that actually a white canvas poking through sort of situation? Okay. But I do think our color choices are going to pop pretty good. Off of this particular background here. At least so far they seem to be. I am kind of glad I decided to use this paint so I can get a little bit more use out of it before it's done, because it's starting to get sort of a sticky gloppy consistency. Definitely not fresh. I will say that. This tube's been around for a minute. Probably at least 2 years in my possession, if not longer. Like, if it doesn't go away after I add more paint to it, then it's probably the way the light is hitting it. Probably. Alright, I am going to rinse this. Just so I don't get too much stuck all up in here. Are they really cutting grass? It is sopping wet. Like, we had some torrential downpours over the weekend. And it stormed again at like 5, no, 4 this morning. That woke me up. And then the kitten was, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, I'll be right back, kitten, because I was sleeping with the kitten last night. Because he doesn't understand that when the whole house settles down, the whole house is trying to sleep. And he thinks it's kitten rave time. And then nobody gets any sleep, so. Because he's like, a whole house to cause chaos in. And we're like, no, no. What's not gonna happen is that. But I woke up going on 4 from the storm. Husband slept with upsetty doggo because he usually has an easier time of settling him than I do. And doggo didn't seem upset. He didn't come racing towards the bathroom. When I came out to pee. So I don't know if he hadn't realized it was storming it or not, but man, that rain was loud. It sounded like we were inside a car wash or something. It was really loud. And then every time it thundered, the windows were rattling in the mother-in-law's room, which is where I was with the kitten. It's the only bedroom in this place that has a door on it, like an actual close and shut door. That we can keep him contained in. Okay. I mean, we're doing okay. This process is gonna take a minute. Now, I could have just painted the whole thing black before we ever got started. And did the transfer in white chalk. And I have done that before. I've also found that then I tend to have smudges and the black background tends to look dingy by the time I get everything else done. And then I usually have to go back and redo the background again anyway. So I was just kind of like, well, this way is a bit of a pain too. But at least it's more towards the end process, right? So, and I've tried using the black canvases, and while they do help, I find that I still have to go back over the black canvas with black paint at the end of the process. Maybe it was just the quality of canvas I had. This is possible. And I'm also not finishing a painting usually in one sitting. So that might also be a factor. getting manhandled a bit. And shifted around and all that. But just that little bit that we've done in the black so far. This is starting to pop already. Which is always exciting. As you are coaxing your idea into existence here. Oh, maybe the husband's vacuuming. Maybe it's not somebody cutting their grass. Oh, it might have been him vacuuming, actually. I was gonna say, that grass is way too wet out there to be cutting. Like, I know some people are downright fanatical about their grass being cut. Kind of surprised we didn't get a notice from the city this summer about the grass being too long. My husband tried to stay on top of it, but he also gets heat sensitive at times. At one point it was so bad, he's like, I'm thinking about going out there at like 9 o'clock and cutting the grass. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you think I get in trouble? And I'm like, well, I mean, the noise ordinance doesn't kick in, I think, till 10 or 11. I was like, are you going to be able to see? And he's like, yeah. There's a headlight on the mower. Plus, he might have had a headlamp. Potentially. He didn't end up doing it, but he was strongly considering it. And I was like, yeah, but the bugs. All of the bugs are going to be drawn to the light. Okay. So we're actually doing pretty good time-wise here so far with this background color. I mean, we do have a good ways to go with it, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I am rather pleased that I've even gotten this far with it. Okay. So, because I'm trying to be careful so I don't make more work for myself when it comes time to getting the gold paint in here. I tried to get that little whatever that was off of there, and I think I ended up dropping it into the wet paint on this side. Well, that kind of backfired, didn't it? Okay. Still, not too bad here. I am really liking how the black is making this pop. It is dulling a little bit as it's drying. It is taking a little bit longer to dry. I mean, that's not a total surprise because of the type of paint that it is. Just refreshing my water here. But that looks pretty good. What is casting that shadow? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So I've got like a good blob of this out here. How do I want to do this without getting my hand completely in the paint? And that is the question. All right. So I am coming over the edge just a little bit. into the seaweed, seagrass, whatever you want to call it. Our green bits. Green bits works for me. Sounds like Mr. Beans is trying to help Russell, the husband, clean the litter boxes. And it sounds like it is going about how you would expect it to go. Now it sounds like Mr. Bean has moved on to trying to play with the dog. Or Zuzu. Snuffles doesn't care for Mr. Bean's method of playing, or at least we don't think she does. I have heard her growl at him when she doesn't want to be bothered. He doesn't always take the hint well. And she has barked at him. But again, I haven't been able to tell if that's stop it, leave me alone barks, or if she's playing with him. I always try to break the two of them up when she starts snapping at him. Russell lets her snap at him a couple times to try to teach him no. She hasn't hurt him. We don't think she would, but we are monitoring. When the two of them start getting, or when she starts getting fussy with him. I think he just thinks it's a game, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't seem fazed by it one bit. Not much seems to faze him. The spray bottle doesn't seem to faze him. Not much does. Picking him up and telling him no doesn't faze him. They're still there. Thought I had gotten rid of that. Ironically, that looked like a piece of polyfill. I guess some bits of that floated everywhere. While we were working on the banana slug last week. I'm going to see if I can find a piece of cardboard or something that I can try to make a circular template with for our tree trunk display. For that guy. So it's actually somewhat circular. I mean, I have circular cookie cutters, and it would be just fluff, so that I could probably reuse, but it was a specific diameter I wanted, so I'm just going to trace the thing. Just going to trace the incense jar that I had originally sized it against. And go with that. When we get to that stage. If it comes to it, I'll use a piece of paper. I swear I keep seeing a piece of fuzz in the end of this paintbrush. But I only ever see it when I'm about to put it down on the canvas, so it could just be a shadow. I suppose that is possible. Okay. Still pretty happy with our progress so far. Just look how that shimmer, how that color shift looks against that black. That is so good. Very, very pleased with how that is looking. Look out, Snuffles. Hey. Hey. Hold on a second, you guys. Sorry about that. Husband was taking the trash out, and Snuffles and Bean were right up on the door, so I needed to grab Bean so she didn't try to run out the door. Because she's not the sharpest crown in the box at times. She has her moments, but if the kitten starts bothering her, she might try to run out to get to him as he's coming in, not realizing that he's coming in. As it is, she's very separation anxiety with him at times. Alright, so I mean, there's still a slight shine to it down in here, although that might not be completely dry, because that is a little tacky. Like tacky as in sticky to the touch. Okay. So apparently, it seems today is the first day of fall. And it seems our fall severe weather season is starting to kick off already. And there was already a tornado warning to our south yesterday. Like, it was in Oklahoma, but there was some concerns it was going to come across close to us. But it ended up falling apart, and then they're saying that today into tomorrow could be more of the same. So, oh joy. Not looking forward to that. Not at all. But we'll see. It's not like a definite, like, Storm Prediction Center hatched, triple hatched area for tomorrow. It's just, it might happen. Which almost might be worse because, you know, you don't know. I mean, you never really truly know, but it's such a question mark. I think the chances tomorrow are still pretty low. But at the same time, they're not zero apparently. The one weather guy is like, yeah, that the upper atmosphere is gonna support something happening tomorrow. Oh, good tea. It's kind of been crazy how quiet the hurricane season's been this year. Like, I don't think we had a hurricane actually make landfall. Maybe, was the one that brushed the Carolinas, was that actually a hurricane or was it a tropical storm? Because I thought it was a tropical storm. And it seems like most of them got steered out to sea or fell apart as they were getting closer. But I think most of them just got redirected to stay out at sea, which is kind of wild. I mean, nobody wants hurricane damage. So I'm glad there wasn't a bunch of that. But after all of the bad hurricane seasons, it's kind of like this overwhelming feeling of waiting for the shoe to drop here. It's like, could we like get this over with, please? I mean, granted, hurricane season's not over yet by a long shot. It's still got a good amount of time left to go. Technically, I don't think that's over until November 1st. Second here, my eyes have been extra icky today. Bean sneezed directly into my eye at one point. He was being adorable when I woke up at one point. And cuddling like right up next to my face. And then he sneezed, and I could feel all of his sneeze juices just land right in my eye. I'm like, thanks, buddy. But my eyes have been allergy-ish today. All the extra gunkiness ever. Before he did that. So, I mean, it's not super tedious. It's just time consuming. And I could probably use a slightly bigger brush. But then I'd have to come back with the smaller one anyway. Right? So for these areas, we might as well just keep trucking. At this point. I might as well. I'm not doing so bad anyway. I mean, it's just part of the process. Like, it needs to get done one way or the other. So, yeah, it might have been faster if I had done it in the beginning. But then I would have had to worry about all the chalk smudgies and hoping that my chalk slash charcoal didn't smudge off. And then trying to refresh it. Might have been a whole nother host of issues. So we'll just do it this way. We'll get there in the end. Alright. Trying to get painted around these circles without completely losing or butchering the circle features of the circles. So it doesn't become a lopsided mess. Right? I can draw it in with a stencil, but can I keep it as I go? Well, that's another matter entirely. Like, we can certainly try. We can certainly try. I will have to find somewhere to put this until we are fully dry. Oh, well, that's not a good time. Let me guess, the same advertisement that it always is. Just from a different account. Just doing a maintenance rinse here. I mean, I know it looks like we haven't gotten very far, and we haven't gotten too terribly far, right? But it is a process, and it does take some time to get through. Let's block them, and we're gonna go ahead and ban them as well. This paint is just like a gelatinous glob in this tray. So I went with the little cookie tray instead of the plate because I knew I was going to be holding it for a while. I didn't want Mr. Bean jumping up here and getting into it. And it was just more convenient. I mean, I guess I had a small palette I could have used. The plate gets a little heavy after a little bit and a little awkward. But when I can leave it on its surface, like whatever surface I'm painting on, it's a little bit easier. Yeah, let's see here. We've got a little bit more edging to do on this guy, like in this specific spot. And I do try to do those maintenance rinses every so often, even if I'm just using the same color for quite a while, because it keeps the paint from building up in my brush too much and potentially drying higher up in the brush as I am working. So I still do have a good amount of pencil marks on the seahorse, around our spokey bits where I was drawing them in and parts of the seahorse that I drew over top of. Once the background is dry, I'll come in with my kneaded eraser and try to pull up as much of that as I can, because now that the black is around the outer edges of the circle, I won't need that there anymore where it's still visible. A lot of it won't be visible. But you know, we'll get there when we get there. I did pull the kneaded eraser out because I wasn't sure if I was in fact going to need that today. Just judging with what time it is, I don't think I'm gonna need that today. After all. Okay, so we're looking pretty good here. I will come back and get the rest of this outer section that I have what looks to be been skipping over. Wasn't necessarily on purpose, it just kind of worked out that way. I mean, we'll get it. Do hope I didn't overestimate how much of this paint I was gonna need out. I am happy with how well the black here is covering the edge of the color shift. I wasn't sure if that was going to give me trouble or not. But that's been doing fairly well so far. Perfect. Oh, I know this sounds dumb, and I'm sorry I keep saying it, but I'm excited with how this is shaping up. Can't wait to get the outlining done on here. Again, I'm not sure if I'm doing the outline in paint or pen yet. But my goal is to get it looking similar to the fish one that we did. As best as we can. It won't be exactly the same, because I did use a different black paint, number one. And I didn't have any of the color shifting stuff on that one. I kind of wish I had. Some color shifting, aqua and purple. Might have been a little bit of fun in that, but at the same time, it might have been too much, because on that one, since it was on the 8x10, kind of feel like the gold was enough. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Okay. So, I want to come back into here. And start to work on this edge. Now, again, remember that these color shifts that I used are actually a little bit brighter than how they appear on here because I had that dark paint underneath of it. So they'll be a lot thinner and a lot brighter. If you just try to drop them on a white background. So that is something to keep in mind. But when I had experimented with dropping the color shift down on its own, I realized that, yeah, that was going to be a little bit brighter than I necessarily wanted. So that's why it was a good pair with that, what was it? Mystic teal color, I believe. That, I had popped into here first. And I'm still happy with that decision. I was a little unsure of using that as the base for the other two shades. But I think looking at it now, that was definitely the right call. Alright, and I'm just trying to be careful with our outlining up against the seagrass here. So my hand doesn't get a little too wobbly and cut too much of it off. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. I just want to be a little bit extra careful in here. Now I'm going to come back later and get those edges. I don't know if I'm going to do that on stream or not because it's just the edging. And the long side, well, the short side edges are going to be a little difficult with how long this is to make those happen and be visible on stream. So we'll either do those and we just really won't see me doing them on stream, or I will take care of those off stream. But those I'll be able to use a slightly bigger brush for. So I won't have to be cutting in. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, that looks so good on the black, doesn't it? It's definitely popping very well. Okay. I think I'm gonna do another maintenance rinse because I'm watching a chunk of paint hang out in the upper part of that brush there. Okay. Still have mica powder floating in that water even though I changed it a couple times. From the color shift friends there. Okay. So, a little bit extra careful here along our edge. Well, on the plus side, this paint is still wet in my cup. And it's been out for a while. So that's good. And very helpful. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know if I'll end up using this entire blob before we're done for the day. But I'm certainly gonna try. And got a little carried away there on that section. Am I surprised? No, not at all. But there it goes again. Once we get the outlining done, that won't be so much of a problem. I will say the black paint is gliding over top of the color shift. Probably because that's a little bit smoother than the canvas itself. You can definitely tell where the surface differences are. It's actually kind of funny, but not surprising. All right. Still, I think for me, and with the slight delicacy that we need for this, we are moving pretty good at this stage. Again, we're gonna have at least another week, if not two, on this guy. I don't know if we'll quite need a third week. We will see. I still haven't figured out what I'm doing for my mom. I still feel like I haven't gotten a clue. I'm thinking, well, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. Thought I had an idea figured out, but now I'm not sure. I'm second guessing it. Have to see what happens. As we get closer to me working on it. Okay, I was actually considering trying to do something embroidery, but I don't really have anything that I can do for that. I've never done embroidery before. So I don't know if that would be a completely hot mess disaster. I would like to try it though. I did get some more, so I might be spending my evening looking up that. And seeing what my options are. But I did get some video editing done. I'm sorry I didn't do Magic Hat on Thursday. I just didn't feel good. And I had to do some cooking that involved babysitting. We'll get back to it, I promise, eventually. Eventually being the keywords there. Because we've got Katamari coming out, the new Katamari coming out in October. that I definitely want to play. And I am very much looking forward to. Now I might have to come back in and do some touch-ups here and there as sections dry. And I see some spots that are now obvious that didn't get filled in. But so far, I think I've been doing a pretty good job getting the texture filled in here. Yeah, I did get some video editing done on that tissue paper project. It's probably going to take me to the end of the year to finish, as much as that pains me to say. I still have to get stuff edited for when we're away. Got time for that. And that might end up being Minecraft. Haven't had the time to get in there and record any of that lately. But I do want to get that up on the YouTube channel. I need to start editing Little Known Galaxy. Because Honey, I Joined a Cult will be wrapping up soon. Very soon. So I'm going to have to pause editing the tissue paper stuff. Oh, hold on a second. I think that was something in Georgia that was calling. If I was understanding our caller ID properly. Yes. Quite happy with how that is looking on the camera there so far. And our gold is gonna look pretty good in there. It helps that the color shift is leaning to the gold side. So it should work well with the other shades. But yeah, the tissue paper project is just, ugh. I was making good time, and then I hit a stretch of videos that are like 2+ hour chunks, and now I feel like I'm just chugging. I was trying to render sets of 20 videos at a time, just so it didn't become too large of a project to load. This video, when it's done, is probably going to be like 9 hours long, and that's sped up. I'm debating whether or not I need to split it into 2 parts. I really am. I mean, it's 7 months of footage. Well, it's 2 to 3 days of footage a week for 7 months. I wasn't working on it every day. Would be a lot more. Footage, and it wouldn't be as long, I guess. Like, I had started working on it in January, and took me till July to finish. Don't you need to go to the pharmacy?
At some point.
Well, I thought if you don't pick them up in a certain amount of time, they put them back.
They actually hold it longer now.
Alright, well, I'm gonna need pig food, I think, tomorrow.
Huh?
I think I'm gonna need pig food tomorrow.
Okay. I think you mentioned.
But if the weather's gonna be that gross, we might need to go this afternoon. Alright. Have you seen Bean recently?
I have not looked for him.
He hasn't come to supervise in a while, so I don't know where he's at. Oh, we need to get that guinea pig laundry done. Keep forgetting about it. Okay, so we'll get this filled into here. As best as I can, which isn't going super well. Eh, that one could have been better. I didn't think the dot tools were gonna fully cooperate with this paint, so I didn't bother pulling them out. But that is an option. We're in there. Oh, 1 second, you guys. Okay. And to think, I was sitting here thinking, wow, it's been really quiet this morning with the phone. I didn't even say it out loud. No, I said I didn't even say that it's been so quiet. I didn't say it out loud, I only thought it, and then within like 10 minutes of me thinking it, the phone calls have started. Okay. So I need to be a little extra careful right in there. Sorry, my hand felt tacky when I accidentally touched that. So I wasn't sure if I'd actually pulled any paint away that I had to be mindful of. We look like we're good. All right. So we'll get this little guy. Paint it around next. I was doing pretty good with that one until the paintbrush had other ideas. Paintbrush is like, no, we're just gonna slice off that rounded section. Be like, excuse me. That was not what we wanted. Apparently, Mr. Brush has other ideas. Okay. Guess I'm on like video 36 out of 40 for this chunk. Like it's 21 to 40. I'm already at 50 minutes on this one. The last, well, that first chunk of 20 videos was about 50 minutes, and I'm like, oof. This is gonna be a long boy. I think we're gonna end up repeating some of my music library. Pretty often for it. We'll see. Like Sundays right now, I'm not able to work on editing of any description. Because it's morning stuff and then stream time. And then I kind of have to get myself pulled together after stream and then start dinner. And then we're hopping into Fallout as soon as we're done dinner. At least for the time being. See if we can get that delicately popped into there. I think it's time for another brush rinse here. Get that extra gob of paint kind of worked in. Where we do so. Like, it dried slightly matte, but there's also a little bit of a shine to it. Okay. This is just so, like, gelatinous. It's reminding me of, like, ink. Like, rare ink. Printing ink. Okay. These ones that are a little bit closer to me here, I am trying to be a little bit more delicate with, because I'm having a little bit harder time telling where I've covered because of the way the light is reflecting off of it. And it's not a huge problem. Okay. Got like these little ridges in the bottom of this thing. Like all kinds of paint buildup in it from me trying to get some sort of point to try to get around these sections here as crisp as I can. So it doesn't always work that way. Doesn't always go according to plan. But we're trying. Not doing too bad. Things are filling in pretty good here. And we've actually covered a fair amount of background. Considering I'm using such a small brush. Just trying to see if I see any white spots. We're looking pretty good in there. As far as I can tell. Like I said, this paint isn't the freshest. So it started out a little bit thicker. And a little bit stickier than I would have liked. But I also kind of figured what I would be getting into with it. Let me see, is there still a price sticker on it? No. Oh gosh. Makes me wonder how old that actually is. Now I definitely am not sure where it came from. Okay. So let's work on getting this section carefully filled in. If I do have any tiny gaps of white, like on the Seahorse, that'll just get filled in with our gold color. As best as we can. But I'm pretty happy with the coverage distance that I've been getting out of this. And also fairly happy with how this paintbrush and this paint are working together. Some work a little better than others together, as we've seen. But can you guys forgive me for just a second? I need to clean these glasses. I feel like I'm looking through a smudge. Hey, can you turn around?
Hmm?
What's Ed holding?
A ball, crinkle ball.
A crinkle ball.
Yeah, I found one earlier.
Ugh. Let me just clean my glasses here because I realized I did not clean them this morning. And they feel all kinds of smudgy. Oh, they are. Okay, well, that explains why things look so quite so distorted. I need to get some spray lens cleaner or something, because I like the drill mounts, but they are really difficult to clean with the lens wipes for me. It's a little better. Okay. Of course, now I feel like I've really got to pee. Yeah, that ain't gonna wait. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. My mom has impeccable timing. And I had to try to find Bean. And it turns out that he was in a timeout. It's like, it's been a really long time since we've had Bean come thundering by us here. Alright. Mr. Bean, you just came out of timeout. He immediately starts in with Cow. Who was napping. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cow could use the exercise that Mr. Bean is giving him. But it was supposed to be nappy times. He has Mr. Bean pinned to the bed.
Hmm?
Kind of.
Yeah, he does that.
Even though he was winning. It's right there I missed. There looks like a couple of spots. But it's hard with the angle that the lighting is at on this end. To see the missed spots. So it kind of just looks like light glare. For the most part. Okay. So we're gonna keep on going here. As much as we can. all those little crevices filled in. But we've gotten not quite a third of the background filled in here. Gotten a little bit. Kind of using the shadow of my hand to try to see where might need another pass. Like that might be something that I have to touch up after it's dry. So I can tell a little bit easier. Where was amiss and where is light glaring back at me. Okay. I'm actually surprised that I haven't used all of the paint I put out yet. Because it didn't look like I had put that much out. Kind of figured we would have blown through that blob by now. I guess not. I think I'm trying not to come too far in. Like I don't want to chop off too much. You know, that wouldn't be too good there. Who still needs paint aside from the obvious, right? The obvious white spots. Like those I can see. Just trying to see if there's any little sections here that the texture didn't get filled in with. Get to this circle. Now, for the bubbles, I think I'm gonna paint close to the pencil line. Or maybe I'll paint up to the outer edge of the pencil line. And then, like, fill in most of the center, perhaps. Now, the thing with this paint is that it can leave a texture behind if you don't get it completely smoothed out, or if there's like a small imperfection, globby bit of like gesso or something that was on there, it'll definitely accentuate it. Hopefully it won't be too eye-catching when everything is said and done. But I won't know till we get there. Not a whole lot I can do about that at that point. That wasn't a full box of kitty litter, was it? Husband?
Hmm?
That wasn't a full box of kitty litter, was it?
No.
Because I'm hearing a box of kitty litter go tumbling around. And I'm not quite sure why, but I'm pretty sure Bean's involved. Okay. So, I wonder how much further we'll be able to get today. Okay. So some of the unevenness, I hope I can fix a little bit with the gold, but we'll see. Because the gold's a little transparent itself, and that's probably going to take at least 2 coats. Oh, I have to do 2 coats on the gold. Still not sure if it's going to take us another 3 weeks on this, or another 3 sessions. Kind of depends on how far we get with the background. Next time we are able to work on this guy. Up there. Might have been fuzz from Bean's feet when he jumped up here. Possibly, I'm not sure. Okay. Paint's getting a little bit thicker now. But see. We'll see how we go. I definitely have enough of it in the tube. That I did make sure of before I picked this particular paint to do the background with. I was like, I cannot run out part way. Because while I have some other blacks, it's not going to be the same shade of black. Okay. Just trying to get this as smoothed out as I can. So if I leave any little ridges there, they will dry that way. If you don't mind the little paint ridges, then you're fine. Carry on. You're good. Okay. So again, I want to be real careful here. Look, we're not painting a house in this spot. I'm trying to cut in, or painting a fence, maybe is a better analogy or descriptor. Need to be a little bit delicate. Cutting that in there. Certain spots, it's kind of like painting a house where we're just slapping some paint into the white sections. But it's not like that in every spot. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Not sure if that was a little bit of a mica powder, mica powder glitter thingy right there, or if that was just a light reflection. Could have been either. Haven't seen too much. Damn it. Haven't really noticed too much of it staying in the brush when I've gone and rinsed, but it's definitely in my water cup. Grandly settling to the bottom. As it does. Okay. So we are probably gonna find a good spot to call it a day here. I mean, I still had some blob left here, but the old back's getting a little bit angry. And it sounds like I need to go and separate some cats here in a minute. So I'm just gonna kind of finish evening out this here. But like I said, I've got plenty of this, and I might try to do the edge with what's left here. So it doesn't all go to waste. And you're not missing much with me just doing the edge. Alright. So I think we'll pause there for today. So today we did finish up the seaweed down in here. And we got started on our background. We got from here to here, which isn't too bad. Considering A, I'm using a tiny brush, and B, had to paint around a lot of delicate areas, cutting in around all that. So that's not so bad. Just want to get this brush rinsed out here before that paint settles in. Alright. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow yet. Keep an eye on Blue Sky because I might have to cancel tomorrow. I won't know till we actually get there because sometimes they change the weather forecast on a dime around here and it might not do anything till after we're done stream, but we'll see. So tentative plan is to work on the banana slug tomorrow. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll see. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. I do appreciate that. Don't forget to check out the socially links down below. There's links to the Blue Sky that we just mentioned. Links to Ko-fi where you can support if you don't want to support through Twitch. And also a link to the YouTube channel. So I will see everybody tentatively tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Wednesday for Planet Zoo. We'll figure it out. And yeah, so enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening. Hopefully tomorrow is a good one. And until next time, everybody.